Good day everybody and welcome to episode 17 of my Krastorio playthrough. Just like I said the last time, I built some greenhouses off cam and I've decided to put a coke factory with 18 greenhouses online that will satisfy 30 stone furnaces with the materials they need, and I think that should be enough for now. Okay, so in between of that, I also took a look into that area, and this just doesn't really add up. I just built that in a hurry, and I didn't calculate the belt amounts, and this whole thing will run always dry in times of full load, because it's quite easily explained. I have here 20 furnaces on a belt, and this whole thing wants 12.5 units of iron ore, and I only have half a belt. This can only transport 7.5 units. So if I want to proceed like that, I would either need to put up red belts into that whole array. That would help, or I'm gonna replan it, and I've decided to redo this whole thing from scratch, because I was already breaking my noggin about how I would replace all that coal that is backing up on the pipes here with the coke I'm producing, and redoing the whole belt array in a proper and efficient manner solves that whole problem. So let's do it like that. Apart from that, I've planned a lot of other things about the smeltering and further development of the base, but everything at its time. So we're going to start with a offshore pump here, because our greenhouses will need some water. Also, I'll need those greenhouses. How do I want to play that one? I gotta check how much output we're gonna have, but I'd really like to put it well, 9 of them in a row, but the territory is against me here, so we're gonna do it like that. That'll definitely work. Okay, so whatever. Expandable array. Okay, does that whole mumbo jumbo fit onto one belt? That's the question I'm asking myself here. Yeah, chill. Okay. So, how much output will that do per second? So that's 12 per second. Awesome. Everything fits together. So I'm gonna produce 12 wood per second, which will get consumed by these 30 thingies, and we're gonna be good with that, because that's gonna be exactly the amount of wood 30 furnaces will use. Alright, let's feed that beast with water, but I want something like that, so I can squiggle through. Alright. Then I'm gonna connect this one over here. Just like that. I think they needed an extra connection every time for each cluster. If I remember correctly, it was working like that. Okay, we're gonna output into loaders, because they are really convenient little power machines. Oh, and I put those too tight. It's not gonna work like that. I need space to output on both sides. Silly me. Okay. Let's drop those down already. There we go. Alright. Few more loaders here and there. And now we're gonna grab some power cords. And I need to redo the recipes, of course. Oops, that was not intended. Alright. And then I'm gonna check out if everything will be connected. I'm not sure if the water connections will work out. Okay. No chance to connect both of them. Alright, there goes the water. I need to give these thingies their recipes. And of course, a water connection. Yeah, they're turning all green. Awesome. So we're all set here. I'll grab the stuff from here. And from there, then we're gonna load it right over to the coal. Let's pass it just right through here. Okay. And let's drop down that little thingy so they get divided quite evenly. Alright. Now then, I have this whole big array nailed down here. So my plan was to produce all that coke and buffer it somewhere away from here. Because that's part of the bigger plan here. I hope it'll work out. Okay, so for this thingy here, I have these lines here on the input side. Let's just start like this. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do a narrow one this time, why not? Okay. So in this kind of scenario, I'm gonna do it something like that. Why not? 2 different directions for extra confusions. Okay. Now we're gonna turn these to coke. And let's check what kind of inserters does this machine need. Well, they can run with basic inserters. Awesome. Okay. But for this stuff to work correctly, I need long-handed inserters as well, because otherwise we won't be grabbing that coal. There we go. Okay. Let's grab up the power. And let's power that whole mining area as well. Let's start the coke business. Alright. So this will be the main fuel production area for my smelter operation until this is used up. Because I've thought a lot about how I want to go for the future of this factory, and I figured I want to buffer up materials a little bit more. That means I'm gonna mine out all the copper and iron out of a region, and I'm gonna buffer it up in front of my smelteries. Like, I was thinking about constructing some sort of hub around this area here, where I will store and distribute the materials needed for the smeltering operations, because it's way easier to just grab all the stuff and store it later. Because I was coming up with that idea since Krastorio gives you those insane storage items, like storage size 400, storage size 100. These are such insanely big containers. I can mine out that stuff and just store it for later and distribute it in a way that which is efficient for the smelter arrays. Otherwise, I will be always bound on the amount of miners on the site and how much payload there's delivered on the belts, and I can just dump everything into a hub, and the hub will do the distribution work for the smelter array, which will be much more efficient. And that's what we're gonna build the next few episodes. So the coke factory is part one of that, because the coke factory will be basically the fuel depot for this endeavor. So I was doing a lot of thinking while I was not playing. Okay, so I'm gonna take some distance from here. Let's go for something like that, because I hate the thought that these might somehow not have enough space to get the resources through. Yeah, and I just took the right amount of space there. It's just exactly enough. There we go. Pretty narrow operation, but it'll work. So, same set as before. We're going for those yellow inserters here. And long-handed inserters there. Whoa! Okay, they replace it. Oh, okay. That was not intended. I didn't mean to replace. I just wanted to be lazy. That didn't work out. Okay. There we go. Let's go for the output belts. And let's... Oh well, I'm gonna funnel it through here. Like that. It's gonna be the easiest way to get rid of that narrow spot. Okay. Let's copy the recipe. There we go. Okay. They need power. I'm gonna bring the small ones here. They're absolutely okay for this job. And I'm gonna repeat this little thingy just a... oh, that's not more. What? Did I look so? Okay. Thought that was not parallel. Okay. I just want to meddle around. I don't want to meddle around with that cliff thingy there. So I don't need to be careful with the available space here. Factorio gives you all the space you need. I mean, there's a certain fun involved with doing things as narrow and efficient as possible, but sometimes I just like to waste space. I admit it. I am just like that. Okay. Oh, I could have placed those while I was placing the others. So. Okay. So this will be our fuel for the future, or at least the start of that operation, because somehow I have the feeling like this will be not enough for the long-term operation of the whole thing. But that's okay. That's why I'm buffering that stuff. Okay. So that was yeah, okay. Can actually... Somebody pointed out to me that you can change on Krastorio with Shift L, where the inserters drop the stuff. So I could basically do it 5-5 and they would load the belt evenly with that configuration, but I'm a little bit too lazy to do it right now. Anyways, so that would be something I could do, and you could do, but I have no interest with that Shift L combination to meddle around because it's quite uncomfortable to use. And I'm gonna check out if I'm gonna reconfigure that and use that more easily, because right now going with the cursor over each one of them and going Shift L, no, that's really annoying to do. So I need to try if I can reconfigure that. Okay, whatever. I just wanted to try out that feature because I saw people talking about that. So I'm gonna check out if that's gonna be more my thing when I reconfigure it. Okay, until then, I'll unite these a little bit. Let's do a little T-merger here. And let's go over here and feed that stuff into a splitter. There we go. And that splitter leads into a... Let's go for just one of those medium containers, why not? Oh, that takes a while until it's constructed. Anyways, so why is that one not working? It's not getting coal. Yeah, because there's a long-handed inserter lacking. So the Bottleneck mod is really useful to get those little mistakes out of your system. Thanks for the person who pointed that one out. I really like that one so far. Okay, so with a medium container, I'm just gonna loader the oops, that's the wrong one. I'm just gonna loader the coke into that, and there's a lot of room in there, so my smelters will now just keep on producing that stuff, and they're not gonna stop. And I'll also connect this other belt into this. There we go. So now this little array will try to deplete the coal field while we're talking, and at the same moment I'm gonna do a rat fast loader, and we're gonna start transporting that coke to where I'm gonna need it. It's gonna be there, so I'm gonna transport that with red belts. So here we go. Oh, I don't have enough stacked here. Oh well, always the same story. You have never enough belts in your pocket when you're playing Factorio. Basic rule of Factorio, you'll always have not enough belts. And it seems like I have, it's time to have those red accessories also in my quick bar. They start to be needed. Alright. So let's turbo those a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's that. Okay, but this thingy will work now. It'll store all that stuff in here we're producing, and well, let's see how quickly the array will fill that thingy. If necessary, I can expand the storage complex, but I think that'll be just okay for now. Let's grab up some more red belts and expand the whole deal. Because I just did a lot of thinking about how to feed a 100 furnace array like that in a way that all the belts get the proper payload at the whole time. I didn't manage to plan that through without constructing a separate hub in between, so let's do that. Also, I need to replace all those belts. All those belts! So many things to do. So many things to do. Also, I noticed that I need to drop down some serious fortifications down on the laboratory area. I left that one completely open. Feels pretty scary to me. Okay. So, I need to do some of the mod settings here, because I use the Fill For Me mod and maximum damage of ammo. Oh well, it's not what I wanted. I was hoping that I could configure how much it'll insert when I drop down the things. Oh. There we go. Not the feature I was looking for. I think I'm gonna grab a few more of the yellow belts too, because it's not like I'm past those. Okay. Then I'm gonna do it like this, because there are a lot of biters around there, and I don't know how angry they are about my operations already, and I want this area to be somewhat defended. But there's gonna be a time, and that time's gonna be quite soon, where I have to expand my defenses a little bit more. So let's give them a few more clips. There we go. I gave those a lot of clips because I don't know when I will return to this area, but now it's covered a little bit better. If they come from this direction, well, it's okay. If they come from this direction, then the whole place is screwed. End of the story. Okay. So with the coke production being up and alive, I have now already found out that I can produce 12 units per second, but I really have no clue how long that'll last. So let's check it out. These things consume 350 kilowatt per second max. Oh boy. They'll chow down on that coke quite a while. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. The only thing I need to change here is that coal here has to be transported somewhere else. That's something I have to do as well. Huh. Things are getting a little bit more complicated. Okay. But I'm gonna focus my coke production into this area here, because there's so much coal around there. It's basically the ideal place to produce that stuff and just transfer the finished product somewhere else. Later on, maybe I'll do a train connection for the coke as well. But I figured with those puny distances right now, doing trains is not really efficient yet. When I have to claim patches that are further away, I'm gonna switch over to trains. But for now, we can still work with belts just fine. Okay. So let's deliver the product. But not that direction. I don't want to go through that stone patch. Maybe I'll just go up here. There we go. So I can join this road. I always like to bundle up my belts like that, so it's easier to keep track of things. Alright. Turbo belting. Oh well. It's time to teach that Forest another lesson. Sorry, Forest, for being not sorry. It's one of the parts I like most when playing Factorio. Bombing down the forest with hand grenades. Seriously, that was something that's so bizarre and so fulfilling at the same time. I like that. Even repairing your random destruction in between is fun somehow, in a twisted way. Okay, now then, I have what I needed, and I'll just do the same thing like I did down there. I'm gonna build a huge storage container, and I need more materials, so let's absorb some. So I already noticed that I can use disgusting amounts of steel. Oh dear, that's maybe I shouldn't go for a warehouse first. Let's go for a medium container. That's okay. It's too big to start with. Can later replace that one, no problem. But for now, this would craft forever. So instead, I'm gonna go for a few more of those, because that's gonna be the start of a wonderful thing, believe me, friends. So I haven't figured it out how it's gonna be exactly, but this whole area where this forest is now still living is going to be the distribution hub of my whole smelter facility. It's going to be the easiest way to manage inputs. Okay, now then. For now, I'll just drop down another container here, and we're gonna just wait until that loader is finished. Oh, whatever. For now, I'm gonna do a too slow loader and just gonna dump in all the coke in there and replace the red one in a second. Okay. There we go. I have another one of these, so we're gonna do more of that action here. And for now, I just want to make sure that these patches get drained, because I figured, why wait? Why stop things from flowing? The quicker these patches are gone from the map, the quicker I can plan how to build my factory in that area, because these patches are in the way. Well, maybe these, not these, but whatever. You get my idea. And also I like to hoard. Okay, these containers are really fun. Now, I need 2 more of those red loaders, because I want to do these things in the proper speed. Okay. This one's gonna be filled in, well, I don't know. It's not gonna take forever, but for now, these things are just working and everything is fine. Okay, I'll just, I would need to do the same thing here. And I would also need to transport the coal to somewhere else. So the replacement of this whole area here is a bigger operation. And probably it's going to be easier to figure out how I'm going to do the buffering and the distribution first. So let's clear out the forests first and check out how to do that. So another thing that I have to keep in mind there is that these grenades also hurt me. No, just kidding. I need to do some steel production down here as well. Whoa, I think I just disrupted a power cord here. Sorry, radar panel. We fixed that one. Okay. So I really need to research that stuff that removes the cliffs, because I have a lot of cliffs that are just making my life a lot more miserable. Okay, so the next step will be for me to plan out what I will need for the hub, and then grab up all these things and then build that thing. Because the moment I decide to disconnect my smelter arrays from their fuel sources and everything, my whole production of plates will suddenly stop, and yeah, nothing will work for a while. The factory will be then down for maintenance, and it's very, very important to plan ahead if you do operations like these, because it can get quite annoying to reconnect things if you're not prepared. Okay, so the forest has lost. Sorry, forest. Okay. So the easiest way to do it would be possibly down here, and later on I'll use that area where the cliffs are living now, maybe for a bigger train depot. I don't know yet, but it's gonna be pretty good to use this place here, because it is quite spacious already, and I have a lot of room over and below me to expand later when I can remove those cliffs. That's exactly what I'm gonna need. Okay. So these containers are... where am I gonna go for those warehouses? I guess I should, but oh well, let's go for the smaller ones first. I can expand that stuff later on as well. And besides, I'll need the medium containers anyways for the warehouses, so any of those will be not produced in vain. Okay, so let's see, how quickly does the store fill? Yeah, well, Possibly I want to do a similar thing with the plates we're producing to... well, I don't know if that's smart. Okay. Then let's see what we can produce next with technology. Well, there's oil and water extraction. I don't have a clue what we need water extraction for, but I just wanted to check out where the explosives are. So the explosives, there we go. Cliff explosives. I would need sulfur processing. And then we would be there. Okay, so oil processing, sulfur processing. Okay. Still quite a long way, but I really should think about researching this technology quite soon, because I noticed that the cliffs are really putting problems to my production line. So I think I am at a point where I'm gonna leave this episode for now, because I have now prepared the coke production, but without a big clean sweep I can't be doing much here, and I want to prepare this whole situation a little bit off camera, because I need to bugger up a lot of steel, and I want to think about how I do this whole chest array and everything, and I don't want to hurry on that, because this is one layout that probably will last a while. Besides that, you don't want to loot some container like that into your inventory. You just don't want to. So I'm gonna cut it here for today. We didn't do much physically, but I think you guys understood a lot more about what's going up for the next episode, and I'm looking forward to it, because if everything works out as intended, we're gonna be having a big ass smelter array at the end of the next episode up and running, because of all these wonderful preparations we did beforehand. Maybe it's gonna take 2 episodes. I don't know yet, but anyways, we're there. We're at the point where I start asking for comments and thumbs up and subscriptions again, and you know the drill. If you want, I would be happy. If not, just take my thanks for watching this video, and I hope you'll return for the rest of the series. Take care, stay healthy, and goodbye, my friends.